Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. First, the headlines. His Excellency, the Secretary General of the Supreme Council for Planning, states that the investment projects in the Free Trade Zone in Sohar will contribute in supporting the economy of the Sultanate. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth issues a decision to prohibit exporting certain types of fish in the Sultanate. And 4 people are killed and many injured in a suicide bombing in front of a mosque in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. A new navigation route that links the Sultanate with South Asian ports was inaugurated in Sohar port in the Governorate of North Bulletin. The Evergreen Line will connect Sohar and Salada ports to ports of India, Taiwan, China, Singapore, and Sri Lanka. It will facilitate exchange and transfer process of cargo from and to the Sultanate, in addition to attracting foreign investments. His Excellency Sultan bin Salim Al Habsi, Secretary General of the Supreme Council for Planning, head of the Board of Directors of the Port and Free Trade Zone of Sohar, presided over the inauguration ceremony. His Excellency Sultan bin Salim Al Habsi, Secretary General of the Supreme Council for Planning, stated that the economic integration and coherence that is witnessed by investment projects in the Free Trade Zone in Sohar will contribute in supporting the economy of the Sultanate. He added that Sohar port, along with the airport, the Free Trade Zone, and the railway, will form a coherent trade zone in the future, and this will help support the economy of Oman in general. The Sultanate and the Russian Federation signed in the city of St. Petersburg a memorandum of understanding between the National Museum in the Sultanate and the Russian Heritage Museum in the museum, work, training services, and vocational qualification. The signing came within the framework of the official visit of Sayyid Haytham to the Russian Federation. After that, His Highness the Minister of Heritage and Culture and the accompanying delegation toured the museum facilities and got acquainted to the precious antiques. They also met with the trainees of the National Museum and listened to a briefing on methods and stages of training. The Shura Council participated in the 18th meeting of the Secretaries General of Shura Council, House of Representatives, National and Ummah Councils in the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, which was held in the Qatari capital Doha under the auspices of His Excellency Mohammed bin Mubarak Al Khulaifi, Chairman of the Majlis Al-Shura of the State of Qatar. More details in the following report by Saif bin Khalfan Al-Kindi.
Increasing parliamentary culture awareness was the main focus, have been tackled during the 18th meeting of Secretaries General of Shura Councils.
This network will enhance the relationship and also the cooperation between the councils and the GCC. It will also provide, information and statistics, and also the data will speed also the cooperation in terms of research studies, which really conducted by the staff and also researchers on the councils.
The participants also focused on developing the parliamentary portal between the countries to enhance new methods of exchanging data. Training was also considered in the 2-day meeting, particularly in service training that could improve efficiency when writing parliamentary reports. The next year meeting will be held in Kuwait and will discuss the developing of diplomacy in the parliamentary work. Well, the importance of this 18th meeting between the GCC countries came to enhance the network in terms of parliamentary work and increasing cooperation between the countries in terms of legislative and auditing issues. Saif Al-Kindi for English News, Al-Doha.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth issued a decision to prohibit exporting the gaither, kingfish, jobfish, and hamur fish starting from June until the end of August 2015. The decision excludes the canned and wrapped fish. It is permitted to market only 70% of shadi and trevally fish in local markets. The ministry stressed on the significance of adhering to the decision to preserve the fisheries wealth in the Sultanate. Still to come in our news bulletin. The chefs in Paris hit the roof of their restaurants for gastro gardens. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Daesh militants claimed responsibility for an attack today on a mosque in Saudi Arabia's Dammam, in which 4 people were killed. The attack targeted worshippers in Al Anud Mosque during today's prayers, a ministry spokesperson said, quoted by the Saudi state news agency SPA. Footage aired on Saudi TV showed security personnel gathered near rows of damaged cars outside the mosque as investigators collected evidence from card vehicles. An ambulance was also on site. Security forces became suspicious of a car parked near the mosque, which exploded as they walked towards it, killing 4 people and setting cars beside it on fire. One of those killed is suspected of being the driver. The death toll from bombings that targeted 2 prominent hotels in Baghdad a day earlier rose to 15 people, with another 42 wounded. Iraqi authorities said today as a lawmaker warned that the capital is vulnerable to more attacks. The double bombing occurred last night when 2 separate car bombs went off in the parking lots of the Crystal, formerly Sheraton, and Babil hotels. Initial reports said 10 people were killed and 27 wounded, but the casualty figures rose overnight. The 2 explosions shattered windows of the recently renovated hotels and destroyed several cars. Baghdad's top hotels are usually crowded on Thursday nights with people attending wedding celebrations or parties. Police said a 3rd car bomb found near the Babil Hotel was discovered and defused early today. In today's violence, police and hospital officials said a roadside bomb hit a commuter bus in eastern Baghdad, killing 3 passengers and wounding 10 others. Heavy fighting erupted in southern Yemen near Aden airport today when militia attacked Houthi rebels in a push to drive Houthis from the district. Houthis and forces loyal to former President Ali Abdullah Saleh are concentrated around Aden's district of Khor Maksar, Crater, and Muala. The fighting in Khor Maksar has killed 4 southern militia fighters and 15 Houthis so far. Intense air raids by the Arab Alliance were also reported overnight by residents of Saada province, which borders Saudi Arabia in northwestern Yemen. Raids also targeted a weapons storage site in Sana'a. A Syrian insurgent alliance, which has captured the last government-held town in the northwestern Idlib province, made further advances today. The army of Fatah and other factions captured Ariha town last night as the Syrian military pulled back. The Syrian army has lost large parts of Idlib province to insurgents since late March, when the provincial capital fell to the insurgent alliance. By today, the insurgents had advanced, capturing at least 4 villages close to Ariha in heavy clashes. The Syrian Air Force also carried out strikes on the area. Syrian state television said government forces had evacuated positions in Ariha and withdrawn to defensive positions outside after battling Nusra Front fighters. The recent advances in the northwest have brought insurgents closer to the coastal Latakia province and an area of importance to his government. When chefs in Paris need a perfect tomato or a super fresh herb, all some need to do is pop up to the kitchen gardens on the roofs of their restaurants. Here is a report.
A patch of green on the rooftops of Paris. This is what sets the Ferrandi Culinary School apart from the others. Its herbs can't get any more local.
This parsley hasn't travelled. It grew in the sunshine and was hand-picked this very morning, so there's a different kind of freshness. It has more taste. The herbs you order will often be bland because they've been transported, and even if they haven't travelled a lot, they were picked the day before. They were carried to the market and stocked there.
Growing greens in the middle of a city, battling regular pollution peaks, may seem like a strange choice. But according to the garden's founder, vegetables from urban rooftops, above the layer of pollution that lingers close to the ground, may well be cleaner than those from the countryside.
An organic field is often right next to a conventional one, so although it's meant to be organic, it still gets pesticides and other things. You see all these bees? That means there are no pesticides.
The bees are also buzzing near the Eiffel Tower, where the upscale Pullman Hotel has its own orchard and vegetable patch. Chefs here come and harvest the crops in person.
This is where we go shopping, at the Eiffel Tower's Pullman Hotel.
The salad of the day varies according to what's ready for harvest. Today, assorted young greens, chives and fennel are on the menu.
I think it's an incredible tool to be creative. It keeps us from falling into a daily routine and always preparing the same dishes, the same menus. Every day there's something new, depending on the week or the season.
While urban gardening has made a global comeback in recent years, the latest generation of French chefs are ready to take it to a whole new level by putting the food from their rooftops at the heart of haute cuisine.
Now for the general weather forecast. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and the neighboring mountains with chances of scattered rain. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of scattered rains over parts of the Hajar Mountains. Winds will be southerly to southeasterly light to moderate. Seas will be moderate to rough with a maximum wave height of 2.5 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Excellency, the Secretary General of the Supreme Council for Planning, states that the investment projects in the Free Trade Zone in Sohar will contribute in supporting the economy of the Sultanate. Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth issues a decision to prohibit exporting certain types of fish in the Sultanate. And 4 people are killed and many injured in a suicide bombing in front of a mosque in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.